This video is sponsored by Skillshare and will begin after this short message. If you're one of those lovely viewers who happen to follow me on my socials outside of YouTube, you may know that my partner is German, and that I myself have been trying to learn the language. Emphasis on trying. I was struggling, unable to pronounce words correctly, getting confused about sentence structure, and trying my best to just say cute phrases to them. I was lost. And then came along my hero, Skillshare. The online learning community that has thousands of inspiring classes for exploring new skills, untouched passions, and just getting lost in a world of endless creativity. For example, some of you may be interested in their game design classes, or maybe you want to recreate some delicious Zelda dishes, which their culinary classes could come in handy for. The amount of options that Skillshare offers is immense. I myself have been recently taking some of the German courses, and oh my god, I'm not even joking, these have been very helpful to me. Sure, hitting the books can be helpful, but hearing a teacher describe how parts of the language work has been a game changer. My favourite, or favourites to be honest with you, has been Sandra German, especially Unit 1, German Language for Beginners, Unit 1, Meeting, Greeting, Introducing, and more. This gave me an amazing base to work from as I progressed through her further units. And something very important that I have took away from this class is how sentences should be structured. As compared to my native English, they are structured very differently at times in German, which is something I wasn't really that sure about, but Sandra German on Skillshare has really helped me to understand that better. Want to know the best part? Skillshare is made specifically for learning, meaning you will see no ads. That, and they are always launching new premium classes. But why am I telling you this? Well, that is because the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership, so you can explore your creativity. I cannot recommend Skillshare enough, and this isn't my first time using them either. I highly recommend them. So be sure to check out the link below, and now on to the video. After 2 years of waiting, 2 long years of hearing absolutely nothing new about the highly anticipated sequel to Breath of the Wild, the time has come in which we may finally hear more about this game. At the time of uploading this video, we are less than 24 hours away from Nintendo's E3 presentation of 2021. There is a fair chance we will hear more or see more on this game, and following last week's video going over your theories and ideas, I got a lot of requests to do another. So here we are, to send us off into the Nintendo Direct where we will hopefully get more Breath of the Wild sequel news. Let's go over some of your theories, ideas, and speculations regarding the upcoming game. Be sure to go and grab yourself a snack or drink and send them in to get featured right here. Check out my 100k giveaway by the way, link below, and let's get into it. First comment. Magic and spells. Now this is an idea I can get behind. In past installments of the series, we have seen small amounts of magic being used by the hero. The likes of Din's Fire or the usage of a magic meter being used to power items such as a near invincible armor or Parasail Leaf. Despite all of this being extremely cool, in the grand scheme of things, magic surprisingly isn't a big part of Link's adventure. The comment suggests that we would learn these new abilities at the end of dungeons, which would work so incredibly well in my opinion, considering traditional items via the dungeons are kind of out of the window now due to the new weapon system and open world nature of the game. And while something could be worked out to bring them back, learning magic and spells would be a really cool replacement to this, and who knows, maybe they could be connected to the spiritual hand we have all been speculating about. Next up, more countries. This is something I've heard a lot of people talk about. To be specific, in regards to the outer regions and overseas of Hyrule. For me, this is a genius idea. We know to at least some degree we will be playing in the same kingdom of Hyrule, but obviously there will be new areas to explore to prevent the world from feeling stale or reused completely. Whilst underground and underwater exploration has been heavily discussed, the idea of exploring beyond the Hyrule we saw is also very possible. I like the idea of building some sort of bridge across this massive canyon surrounding the side of Hyrule. Sadly, a bridge that size would take some time to make, so to be more realistic, let's shoot Link across in a giant canyon. What? He did that in Twilight Princess to reach the Gerudo Desert. alright, maybe we can climb up. However that would work, we should definitely be allowed to explore these unknown areas. I'd love to see what's beyond the faint hills we can see from afar. We also have distant islands, which could be made accessible with the aid of Lurelin Village. We know that they are a fishing settlement with no shortage of boats and sailing equipment. I mean, their homes are literally repurposed ships. We can see a few distant islands from the shore, but I don't doubt that there could be more, bigger islands further out. This would be really cool to go and explore. Finally, we could also venture further into the Gerudo Desert and possibly find some other settlements out there. The possibilities are endless, and this is something that I definitely think we could see. Next, Zelda's Mulan moment. Now this is a really interesting comment, as ever since the new look of Princess Zelda was shown off, many fans have begun to speculate that the princess may be on her way to finally getting her chance to be a playable character, or at least a more involved one. A lot of this speculation began when fans pointed out that in some Japanese cultures, a change of hair in this sense can be viewed as a new you. I don't know the exact details behind it, but the general idea is that this would be Zelda preparing to become more combat focused and truly involved in the adventure. She is typically given the damsel in distress treatment, with one or two involvements throughout the game, but given the context the first game ended on, Zelda taking up a more involved role is likely. A Mulan moment is referring to the movie Mulan, where she has a similar transformation and steps up to the plate to take on a bigger role than normally given. I pray that we see Zelda getting to be more involved, and it is looking like that will be the case. Just imagine getting to fight alongside the princess as we take on hordes of monsters, or even battling the King of Evil, Ganondorf. Next, Zelda Battle Royale. Next, custom gliders. A small, but in my opinion, noteworthy mention. Customization isn't often found in The Legend of Zelda. Traditionally, you're limited to a few tunics and maybe 2 shields at most. Breath of the Wild, however, upped the options with the inclusion of dyeable clothes and a wide variety of weapons, which was honestly so cool and made the experience more enjoyable for me. Let's take this a step further and provide customization for one of the most used items in the game, if not the most used. I doubt we'd get it, but custom designs by us the player would be really cool. But to think more realistically, perhaps just a bunch of Zelda symbols and designs from the series would be awesome. Zonai Swirl anyone? Next, Link's family. This could go one of two ways. Firstly, time travel is a part of the game, which has been speculated to be a thing by some fans, given the lack of shrines and towers in the reveal trailer. If we go back in time, perhaps before the Calamity, we could meet Link's family, but I can't see this working out personally, just because I feel like if we're time traveling, it will be much further back than that. Secondly, we could learn more about them in the sequel. Forget travelling back in time. Rather, after the dust is settled from the first game, we get to learn more about the background of Link. Princess Zelda hints at Link's father in the Shelter from a Storm memory, but that's all we really hear. There's also a piece of art in the Masterworks book depicting Link and his father and younger sister. We know of their existence, but learning more about the life of them and growing up would be really cool. I don't think this should be a focal point, as Breath of the Wild had too much storytelling from the past in my opinion, but something such as the hero's family could be made an exception. I don't know who would tell us this, perhaps the princess, but it would be really cool to learn more. Next, a more involved plot. This is something that a lot of fans have been bringing up, and rightfully so. Breath of the Wild's story was sensational. Keyword was. In my opinion anyway, I think there was too much focus on what had happened, just learning about it, and as cool as that is, it wasn't something that we actually experienced, we learned about it. The sequel will undoubtedly have more of an involved plot if you ask me, given that Zelda is now with us, we are seeking Ganondorf, and the mysterious occurrence at Hyrule Castle. We have to be more involved this time. Have us live out the story this time, not learn of the story. I'm not saying Breath of the Wild's story was bad, no. Just it felt like it was 70% backstory and only 30% current story. This needs to be flipped in the sequel. Next, a 6-hour dungeon crawl. Yes, this sounds awesome and would be something very new to the series. I wouldn't make it mandatory though, just something you can choose to do. I like it, it's refreshing. Next, Ganondorf's backstory. The King of Evil is going to play a huge role in this game, whether that be setting up the story or closing the story with a phenomenal boss battle. He will be there. But something that has always been crucial to making Ganondorf the evil villain that he is is his backstory. In Ocarina of Time, he was a dirty traitor to the King of Hyrule. In Twilight Princess, he escaped his banishment to the Twilight Realm and is back for revenge. And in The Wind Waker, he is seeking vengeance for the gods flooding his land. Whatever the story behind Ganondorf is, it has to be deep. Tell us who he is, how he got in this situation, and most importantly, his intentions. I don't doubt that we'll find this out, to be honest, but making it expansive will be the key to a successful Ganondorf story. Next, our final theory. Link will be in it. Okay, no, for real. Lastly, Midna and the Twilight to return. Oh my god. As a Twilight Princess mega fan, I can only smile at the thought of this. However, I do see it as highly unlikely. But that won't stop me from gushing at the thought. The comment suggests that what Midna said at the very end of Twilight Princess, moments before shattering the portal between the Twilight Realm and Hyrule, "See you later," could be used as a way to bring her and the Twilight back. I mean, you're not wrong. The words "see you later" does imply a future meeting. Yeah, sure, this was probably just to be comforting, but what if it was true? What if Midna really meant that? They even suggested that the stone things in the reveal trailer look similar to those other stone things in Twilight Princess's Springs, and you aren't wrong again, they do appear similar. Obviously, we are reaching very far here. Just a little bit, just a little bit. But as a Twilight Princess mega fan, I couldn't not talk about this idea. It is highly unlikely, but similar to death by cows, weird example I know, the chances are low, but never zero. With that, concludes the comments. Nintendo's E3 presentation is soon, so I hope that we see some news. Originally, this video was planned to be my regular Sunday upload, but I thought it would make it more suspenseful, I guess, to upload it on the day that we could potentially get some long-awaited news on Breath of the Wild sequel. Here's hoping for some news, and you know if we do get it, I will be on it right away. Thanks a ton for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to drop a like to help share the video around, and also consider subscribing for more Zelda content. What are your thoughts on these ideas? I wanted to get another one of these videos out before the presentation, as we will hopefully get some more coverage on Breath of the Wild too. And how are you feeling going into the Direct? Leave a comment below, and look out for my replies. As always, a huge special thank you goes out to all of my supporters across Patreon and YouTube. If you'd like to join them here and get yourself some behind the scenes looks at my work, a shout out upon joining, your name at the end of every video, and more, then consider supporting. Again, thanks for watching, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.